To make this video, I just want to talk with you about this. Something to kind of get off my chest because again I've been keeping it in for a while. And again, I want to just say it straight. I suppose if you may use that. So first of all, this country. I'm telling you, this country. It's just always derailing itself, and the government in this country is always determined to degrade the people of Ireland, and the society in Ireland. And the goal of the government is in this country is not to care for the people of Ireland, it's to make as much money as they can out of everybody, either you or me, who work very hard every week. And it's just to enrich themselves, and that's my I to say straight, and enrich the bondholders and the banks and everything like that. All the big elites, they want to enrich them already rich. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. You think about all the things that have happened over the last few months. Some things that are inhuman and unlawful by the highest extent. And you think, and I do fear for the future of this country. As a young person, I fear growing up in this country. Because, there's no, I hate to say there's no hope. But the word is, for young people, there's no hope in this country of living a decent life. Which you'll be able to raise a family, you'll be able to buy a house, you'll be able to afford a house. There's no hope in that, and I might as well say straight to people. After this COVID thing and everything, there's not a hope of young people being able to achieve goals that were achievable maybe 30, 40 years back. There was less money in the country back then, but you know what? Back then it was a bit more fairer. Society was a bit more fairer to people. I know people might disagree with that, but again, comparing to this society where they just try and get as much money out of people as they can. Again, back years ago, at least that some kind of morals, the government. Nowadays, they just care about money, and that's all they care about. They couldn't care less about anything else. Like, for example, the mother and baby home fires. Just, locked away for 30 years, and nobody's going to look, and nobody's going to do anything. Again, they're trying to hide something, and everybody knows that. They're trying to cover up something that has happened, something very, very big, and if it does come out, it will cause probably hell in this country. Because we all know there was loads of babies. I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to think about the details. And again, they had this. They had to debate this into all out, and they said they will hide the fires. That's criminal, and mothers still looking for their children. That's been sold off to other countries, and they didn't care. They didn't care. They just signed it off straight away. They just signed it off, and President Higgins signed it into law like it was like anything else. Not a thought, not a care, as long as his paycheck's in the bank. That alone. And then you go with everything else, the Golfgate scandal, you go with everything, just the sheer disrespect the political class in this country show. Because again, there's a song on YouTube, I just want to see some fucking change before I'm in the ground. And it's to do with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, always being in government, because anything we do, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil always wiggle themselves into government. And it's all about power. But there's not going to be any change. I might as well be honest with people. There's not going to be any change at this pace. Because this country just continues to train wreck itself. And it's not to do with the people of Ireland. It's these clown of politicians we have. Who just continuously, I don't know what they, at the end of the day, you have to wonder, who is the one in saying this? Is it the people of Ireland for standing for these politicians, for listening to these politicians? Or is it the politicians themselves? Because I think it's the politicians themselves. Because I think they're now round the head with power. I think when you get power, any kind of power, people lose control. And I think this is what the politicians, they're too obsessed with money and power to care about anything else. It's just a sad joke, the society that I'm growing up in, along with many young people. That, you look, and I'm sorry I'm being so very, how to put it, downhearted. But it really has to be said, because at the pace this country's going, there's not going to be any young people any left in this country. Because again, there's better opportunities in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, which people get far much respect and far more much money than in this country. So take for example a doctor or a nurse to calculate a job in the HSE. They will go to Saudi Arabia. They go to countries which need doctors that will take on doctors, and they get 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 9 times, 10 times. They go further, and have respect. The teachers going to Saudi Arabia and things, they have respect for them over there. In this country, they treat them like a piece of dog shit. I might just say straight. Like no other. Like again, the defence forces are the worst of the whole lot of them being treated, because again, it's inhumane the way they treated the Feds forces in this country. And I don't think any other army would put up with it. I think any other army would mutiny by now. Because the government just continuously just doesn't care. Really doesn't care about their troops. And that's just one thing. Yeah, go back to growing up in Ireland. People always dream about owning the house. Owning the first house. Raising the family in their house and having a car. Having a nice, quiet life. It's impossible. You look at the housing prices in Dublin. You look at the rent. You drop dead. You simply would drop dead with the amount of money that you have to spend. Because you have to work day and night to try and earn that money, to try and pay the rent and trying to pay for a house and pay a mortgage. You're in debt. You're really in debt to the banks forever and ever, and the bondholders. You're in debt to them forever. With interest and interest and interest. It's a sin. It really is a sin in this country. And then you think about car insurance, you think about tax for your car, you think about all this, you think about the Green Party. The Green Party really just giving the finger to the Irish people and just continuously, because again, it's all about money. That's all they care about. Money. Because they just put up the price. Single mothers couldn't care less, put up the price. That's what Eamon Ryan's agenda is, and everybody else in Dáil Éireann's agenda. Just put up the price for everybody, make people suffer. Again, this is what the Green Party have done to this country. And it's shameful because everything in this country, Ireland's one of the most expensive countries in Europe. And there's no hope. Again, there's no hope really for young people to achieve anything in this country. Because again, the way we're going, I might just say straight, because it's just continuously banging our head against the wall. And I hate to be downhearted. Like, honest to God, I do hate to be downhearted. But it's just reality that we are living in. Because again, some people can't even afford a house. Some people can't even afford a door of a house, let alone a mat of a house. And there are people lying on the streets. And again, they've been abandoned. And the simple as that, they've been abandoned by the government. And the same with people in nursing homes were just abandoned, left to die in the nursing homes. Government didn't care less. Nothing was said about it. Nobody, government didn't care less. You just fear for the future. You fear for this future of this country, and change has to happen before it's too late. To be honest, because there's not, there's not going to be any change. Again, I fear, however long I live for, and I might as well say straight, no matter be 10 more years, 20 years. 5 years, 3 years, God knows when I could die. I fear that, I leave a country. They never seen any change. They never seen any real change that help people living in Ireland. I never see it coming. I might as well say I don't see it in my time. And that's something many people might be shaking their boots saying. But, with the establishment at the moment, there's no room for change, really. This government doesn't care about change. I think that's all I really have to say. I'm sorry if I've sounded very downhearted. But, it's just my opinion on it. But, yeah, take care, everybody. And, try not be too downhearted. Because, again, I feel bad being downhearted. But, yeah, I feel that's the way it's gone. Thank you.